The metal corridors of Taejin Station hummed with the sound of machinery. Lee Hyun wiped the grease from his hands and looked at the broken cooling unit in front of him. He had been working on the mining colony for 3 years now, and he knew every pipe, every wire, and every strange noise the old station made. Another day, another broken machine, he muttered to himself. Taejin Station floated in the darkness of space, orbiting a field of asteroids rich with valuable minerals. 200 people lived here, mining and processing rocks that would be shipped across human space. It was hard work, but Hyun liked it. The problems were simple. Fix what breaks. Keep people alive. Go home at the end of your shift. But today was different. Station Commander Oh Sang-woo had called everyone to the main assembly hall. Hyun squeezed between other workers, all of them tired and curious. The commander stood at the front, his gray hair neat and his uniform pressed. Next to him stood something that made everyone go quiet. She was not human. The alien was tall and slim, covered in short fur that shimmered between silver and pale blue under the lights. Her face was elegant, almost cat-like, with large eyes that seemed to catch every detail. 2 pointed ears sat atop her head, twitching slightly as she looked at the crowd. When she moved, it was with a grace that seemed impossible in the station's artificial gravity. "Everyone, listen up," Commander O said, his voice firm. "As you all know, humanity signed the Galactic Trade Accord 6 months ago. We are now part of a larger community. This is Vera. She is from the Marathi species, and she will be our liaison officer." Vera stepped forward. When she spoke, her voice was smooth, with a slight purring quality that made it sound both foreign and pleasant. "Greetings, humans of Taejin Station. I am here to help you understand galactic protocols and to ensure smooth cooperation between your people and the wider galaxy." Hyun watched from the back of the crowd. He noticed how her ears moved independently, turning toward different sounds in the room. It was strange, but fascinating. Commander O continued. "There will be some changes to our operations. Vera will be reviewing our mining procedures to ensure they meet galactic standards. I expect everyone to cooperate fully." A groan went through the crowd. More rules, more paperwork, more delays. After the meeting ended, Hyun headed to the station's small cafeteria. His friend Park Dae-ho was already there, eating something that barely looked like food. Dae-ho was the chief of security, a broad-shouldered man with a friendly face and suspicious eyes. "What do you think about our new guest?" Dae-ho asked. Hyun shrugged. "She seems okay, but I don't like changes. We have a system that works. The commander says we have to follow galactic protocols now. Everything has to be documented, approved, and verified." Hyun frowned. "That will slow everything down. We barely keep up with maintenance as it is." Over the next few days, Vera began her inspections. She moved through the station with quiet efficiency, observing everything. Workers whispered about her. Some were curious. Others were nervous. Hyun mostly tried to avoid her and focus on his work, but avoiding her proved impossible. One morning, Hyun was in the engineering bay, looking at new regulations that Vera had introduced. Pages and pages of safety procedures, documentation requirements, and inspection schedules. He stood alone in the room, staring at the screen in frustration. "This is ridiculous," he whispered to himself. "It will take twice as long to do anything now. How does the galaxy get anything done with all this bureaucracy?" He heard a soft sound behind him, a purr. Hyun turned quickly. Vera stood in the doorway, her ears pointed directly at him. Her eyes held an amused gleam. "Careful, human," she said softly. "I hear everything." Hyun felt his face grow hot. I was just..." "You were expressing frustration with the new protocols," Vera said, walking closer. Her movements were silent, like a predator. "You whispered it, thinking no one would hear." "I didn't mean any disrespect," Hyun said quickly. Vera tilted her head, her ears twitching. My people, the Mirathi, have hearing far beyond human capability. I can hear your heartbeat from across the room. I can hear the slight whistle in the ventilation system 3 corridors away. I can hear the tiny electrical hum from your data pad. Hyun stared at her. Everything? Everything, she confirmed. It is both a gift and a curse. Your people speak so loudly to us even when you whisper. There was a moment of silence. Then Hyun decided to be honest. The new protocols are going to slow us down. This station is old. Things break constantly. If we have to fill out forms every time we fix something, people could get hurt waiting for approvals. Vera's expression shifted slightly. You care about the safety of your crew. Of course, we all do. She walked to the window, looking out at the asteroid field beyond. In the galaxy, there are thousands of species. Most follow protocols very strictly. It prevents accidents. It creates order. But, Hyun sensed there was more. But I am learning that humans are different. You adapt. You improvise. Sometimes you ignore rules when you believe it is necessary. She turned to look at him. This both worries and intrigues me. Before Hyun could respond, an alarm blared through the station. Red lights flashed in the corridor. Emergency in Sector 7, the intercom announced. Pressure breach detected. Hyun ran without thinking, grabbing his repair kit. Vera followed, moving faster than he expected. They reached Sector 7 in minutes. Other crew members were already there, sealing doors and evacuating workers. Kim Ji-woo, the young data analyst, was coordinating on her tablet. The main seal failed. We need to patch it before the whole sector decompressizes. Hyun looked at the damaged section. It was worse than he thought. A proper repair would take hours. Hours they did not have. According to protocol, we should evacuate the sector and wait for replacement parts, Vera said, reading from her device. That will take 3 days, Hyun replied. Sector 7 has our main water recycling system. We cannot go 3 days without water. He made a decision. Grabbing sealant foam and metal plates, he climbed into the damaged area. It was not the proper way to fix it. It was not approved by any protocol, but it would work. Vera watched in silence as Hyun worked with quick, confident movements. He sealed cracks, reinforced weak points, and bypassed damaged systems. Within an hour, the pressure stabilized. Commander Oh arrived just as Hyun climbed down. Report. Sector 7 is sealed, Hyun said. Temporary fix, but it will hold until proper parts arrive. The commander looked at Vera. Your assessment? Vera was quiet for a moment, her ears moving as if listening to the station itself. The repair is not standard, but it is effective. The human engineer saved time and resources with creative problem-solving. That evening, Hyun sat alone in the observation deck, looking at the stars. Vera found him there. You do not follow rules easily, she said. I follow them when they make sense. And when they do not. Hyun smiled slightly. Then I find another way. Vera sat beside him, an unusual gesture. The galaxy is very old, human. Species rise and fall. But in all my studies, I have never encountered a people quite like yours. You are stubborn, reckless, impossible to predict. Is that a compliment? Her eyes gleamed in the starlight. I have not decided yet. They sat in comfortable silence, human and alien, watching the endless dance of asteroids outside. Neither knew that their partnership would soon be tested in ways they could not imagine. Dark forces were moving in the shadows of the galaxy, and Taijin Station was about to become far more important than anyone realized. The strange energy readings started appearing 3 days after Vera arrived at Taijin Station. Kim Ji-woo noticed them first, while reviewing the monitoring systems. Commander, we have unusual power signatures coming from Grid Epsilon, she reported, her fingers moving quickly across her screens. They do not match anything in our database. Commander Oh Sang-woo studied the data with narrowed eyes. Could it be natural phenomena? These asteroid fields can produce odd readings. Possibly, Ji-woo admitted. But the pattern is too regular. It repeats every 6 hours. Vera leaned over to examine the screens, her ears twitching with interest. May I see the frequency analysis? Ji-woo pulled up the data. Vera studied it for a long moment, her tail swishing slightly behind her. This is artificial, she said firmly. Someone is operating equipment in that sector. But that area is unmapped, Commander Oh said. We have not started mining there yet. Exactly, Vera replied, which makes it an ideal location for illegal activity. The commander made a decision quickly. We need to investigate. Hyun, you know our shuttle systems better than anyone. Vera, your species has experience with these situations. Take Shuttle 3 and check it out. Report back in 12 hours. Lee Hyun looked up from the engine component he was repairing. Me? Why not send security? Because if something is broken out there, I need someone who can fix it. That is you. 2 hours later, Hyun found himself in the pilot seat of Shuttle 3, with Vera sitting beside him. The small craft detached from Taejin Station and moved slowly toward the coordinates Ji-woo had provided. The silence between them was awkward. Hyun focused on flying while Vera monitored various instruments. Her ears constantly moved, tracking sounds he could not hear. You are nervous, she said suddenly. I am focused on flying. Your heartbeat increased. Your breathing changed. These indicate nervousness. Hyun sighed. Fine. Yes, I am a little nervous. I repair machines. I do not investigate mysteries in space. You are also uncomfortable around me. It was not a question. Hyun thought about lying, but realized she would probably hear that too. You are the first alien I have ever met, he admitted. I do not want to say something wrong or offend you. Vera made a sound that might have been amusement. You already offended me. You called the protocols ridiculous. You heard that from across the room? I told you. I hear everything. Hyun could not help but smile a little. That must be exhausting. It is, Vera said, and for the first time, she sounded almost tired. Imagine hearing every whisper, every mechanical hum, every tiny sound for your entire life. Silence is impossible for my people. Is that why you are always so calm? To help filter it out? Yes. Emotional control is essential for Marathi. Without it, the constant noise would drive us mad. They flew in more comfortable silence after that. Hyun found himself curious about her. What was her home world like? Did she have family? What made a Marathi decide to work with humans? But before he could ask, the shuttle's systems began to fail. Warning lights flashed across the control panel. The engine stuttered. Power levels dropped suddenly. What is happening? Vera asked, her ears flat against her head. Hyun's fingers flew across the controls. Something is draining our power. An external field of some kind. The shuttle went dark. Only emergency lighting remained. They drifted, powerless, in the asteroid field. Hyun unbuckled and moved to the back of the shuttle where the main systems were located. He pulled open access panels and began examining circuits with a flashlight. Can you repair it? Vera asked. Maybe, if I can find what is wrong. He worked quickly, testing connections and checking power flows. The problem was clear. The shuttle's main power coupling had been fried by whatever energy field they had encountered. We need a new coupling, Hyun said. Without it, we have no power. Do we have a replacement? No, this is an old shuttle. We barely keep it running. Vera stood very still. Then we are stranded. Not yet. Hyun began pulling parts from other systems. He took a thermal regulator from the life support. He pulled wire from the communication array. He found adhesive tape in the emergency kit. Vera watched with growing confusion as he created what looked like a mess of random components held together with tape and wire. "What are you doing?" she asked. "Improvising? That is not a proper repair. It does not need to be proper. It needs to work." He connected his makeshift device to the power system. Then, he rerouted energy from the battery backup through the new configuration. The lights flickered. Then they came on. The engine hummed to life. Vera stared at him. "That should not work." "But it does," Hyun said, wiping sweat from his forehead. "It will not last long, maybe a few hours, but it will get us to the coordinates and back to the station. In the galaxy, repairs follow specific procedures. What you did violates at least 20 safety regulations." Hyun shrugged. "Human engineers learn to work with what we have. We do not always have the right parts or the right tools, so we adapt." "This is insane. This is survival." They continued their flight, and Vera said nothing more. But Hyun noticed she kept looking at his makeshift repair with something like wonder in her eyes. When they reached the coordinates, what they found made both of them go silent. A hidden mining operation. 3 large ships, unmarked and heavily armed, were stripping asteroids at an aggressive rate. Automated drones moved in organized patterns, harvesting minerals that should have belonged to human-controlled space. "Pirates," Vera whispered. "The Krell Syndicate. If I recognize those ship designs." "Who are they?" "Criminals. They exploit unclaimed territories and weak colonies. They take what they want and eliminate witnesses." Hyun recorded everything with the shuttle's cameras. "We need to get this back to the commander." But as he turned the shuttle around, one of the Krell ships changed course. They had been detected. "They are scanning us," Vera said, her voice tense. "Can we outrun them?" "Not with your temporary repair." Hyun thought fast. "Then we do not run. We hide." He guided the shuttle toward a large, rotating asteroid. The Krell ship followed, but Hyun used the asteroid's spin and the debris field to break line of sight. He powered down all non-essential systems, making the shuttle as quiet as possible. They drifted in silence among the rocks. Hyun could feel his heart pounding. Beside him, Vera sat perfectly still, her ears moving as she listened. "I can hear their engines," she whispered. "They are searching in a pattern." "How close?" 200 meters. 150. 100. Hyun held his breath. The Krell ship passed so close that he could see its scarred hull through the window. Then it moved away, continuing its search pattern. After 10 minutes, Vera's ears relaxed slightly. "They are leaving the area. They think we escaped." Hyun restarted the engines carefully. His makeshift repair held barely. They began the long flight back to Taijin's station. "You saved us," Vera said quietly. "Your creative chaos, as you call it, kept us alive. We saved each other. I could not have avoided them without you hearing their approach." Vera turned to look at him, and something in her expression had changed. "Most species in the galaxy follow protocols strictly. Everything is planned, tested, and approved. It creates stability, but also rigidity. Your people break things and rebuild them in new ways. You solve problems that should be impossible. Is that good or bad? I do not know yet, but it is different, and perhaps difference is what the galaxy needs." When they docked at Taijin Station, Commander O was waiting with Park Daeho and a security team. "Report," the commander demanded. Hyun uploaded the video footage. Everyone watched in silence as the Krell operation appeared on screen. "This is in our territory," Daeho said, anger in his voice. "They are stealing from us." "It is worse than that," Vera added. "The Krell do not leave witnesses. If they discovered Taijin Station, they would eliminate everyone here to protect their operation." The commander's face grew hard. "Then we need to stop them before they find us." We also need to determine if they have help, Vera continued. Someone may have provided them with information about human patrol patterns and station locations. Everyone looked at each other uneasily. A traitor on the station? It seemed impossible, but the evidence was clear. Hyun felt a chill run down his spine. The simple life he enjoyed was getting complicated very quickly, but as he looked around at his fellow crew members, he knew one thing for certain. They would fight to protect their home. And with Vera's knowledge of the galaxy and human determination, they might just have a chance. The quiet engineer and the alien liaison had become partners. Soon, they would become something more. They would become defenders of Taejin Station. Lee Hyun could not sleep. He lay in his small quarters, staring at the metal ceiling above his bunk. His mind kept returning to the same troubling question. How did the Krell know where to set up their operation? The asteroid field around Taejin Station was vast. Thousands of rocks drifted in the darkness. Yet the Krell had chosen a location perfectly positioned to avoid station patrols. They knew the schedules. They knew the blind spots. Someone had told them. 3 days had passed since he and Vera discovered the illegal mining operation. Commander Oh Sang-woo had increased security and changed patrol routes, but everyone on the station felt the tension. People whispered in corridors. Trust was breaking down. Hyun got up and dressed. It was early in the morning cycle, and most of the station slept. He made his way to the security office where Park Dae-ho would be finishing his night shift. Dae-ho looked tired, dark circles under his eyes. He was reviewing security footage on multiple screens. "Cannot sleep either?" Dae-ho asked without looking up. "Too much to think about," Hyun replied, sitting down beside his friend. "I have been reviewing access logs," Dae-ho said quietly. "Looking for anyone who might have sent messages to the Krell. And? Nothing obvious. Whoever it is, they are being very careful." Hyun leaned closer and lowered his voice to barely a whisper. "What if we are looking at this wrong? What if the leak is not through messages?" Dae-ho turned to him, interested. "What do you mean?" "Our patrol schedules are stored in the main computer. Someone with access could copy them without sending anything out. Then they just need to pass the information during a routine supply run or mining expedition." "That makes sense," Dae-ho whispered back. "But who has that level of access?" "Department heads, senior engineers, security chiefs." Hyun paused. "People we trust." They sat in heavy silence. Suspecting strangers was one thing. Suspecting friends and colleagues was much harder. "We need to set a trap," Hyun whispered. "Create false information and see who takes the bait." "That could work, but we need to be careful about who we tell. Just us. We plan everything alone and tell no one." What neither of them realized was that someone was listening to every word. Vera sat in the ventilation shaft above the security office. Her sensitive ears picked up their whispered conversation perfectly. She had not meant to spy. She often climbed through the station's maintenance shafts when the noise of human activity became too much. The quiet spaces helped her think. But now she heard something important. She could report this to Commander Oh. Following protocol meant reporting all suspicious activity, but Hyun and Dae-ho were planning to catch a traitor. If she reported them, it might alert whoever was working with the Krell. Vera made a decision that surprised her. She would help them, even if it meant bending the rules. The next morning, Hyun was working in the engineering bay when Vera appeared beside him. He jumped, startled. She moved so silently. "You humans think you are so clever with your secrets," she said, her tail swishing behind her. Hyun felt his stomach drop. "I do not know what you mean." "The security office. Last night. You and Dae-ho were whispering about a trap for the traitor." Hyun's face went pale. "You heard that?" "I told you before. I hear everything." Her ears twitched with amusement. "Your whispers are like shouts to my people. Are you going to report us?" Vera tilted her head, studying him. No, I am going to help you. Why? Because your instincts are correct. There is a leak on this station and standard protocols are not finding it. Sometimes, as you showed me with the shuttle repair, unconventional methods work better. She paused. Also, I have grown fond of this place. I do not want to see it destroyed. Hyun felt relief wash over him. Thank you. But we need more help. Your plan requires technical expertise and data analysis. Ji-woo, Hyun said immediately. Kim Ji-woo. She is brilliant with computers and I trust her completely. Then let us bring her into this whisper network of yours. They found Ji-woo in the Data Analysis Center, surrounded by screens showing mining outputs and resource calculations. She looked up when they entered, surprised to see Hyun and Vera together. We need your help, Hyun said, closing the door behind them. He explained everything quietly, the suspicions about a traitor, the plan to create false information, the need for absolute secrecy. Ji-woo listened carefully, her expression growing serious. You are asking me to help you run an unauthorized investigation. Yes, Hyun admitted. That could get us all in trouble if we are wrong. And get us all killed if we are right and do nothing, Vera added. Ji-woo thought for a moment, then nodded firmly. What do you need me to do? Over the next 2 days, they worked in secret. Ji-woo created a false patrol schedule and planted it in the computer system, but only people with high-level access could see it. The schedule showed that Sector 12 would be unguarded for 3 days. If someone is feeding information to the Krell, they will pass this along, Ji-woo explained. Then we watch Sector 12. If Krell ships show up, we know the bait was taken. And we watch who accessed the file, Daeho added. He had joined their group after Hyun confirmed Vera was helping them. But they needed more. They needed someone who could help them understand alien technology and combat tactics. There is another crew member who might help, Vera said. Thane. He is from the Varathi species. His people are crystalline beings, very logical and strong. He works in structural engineering. Can we trust him? Daeho asked. The Varathi hate deception above all things. If we explain the situation honestly, he will either help us or refuse. But he will not betray us. They approached Thane in his workshop. The Varathi was tall and broad, his body composed of interlocking crystal plates that shifted colors from blue to purple as he moved. When he spoke, his voice sounded like wind chimes. You asked me to join a secret investigation, Thane said after hearing their explanation. This goes against established procedures. Yes, Vera replied simply, but the procedures are not working. We must adapt. Thane was quiet, his crystalline body humming softly. The Krell Syndicate destroyed a Varathi mining colony 20 years ago. 63 of my people died. If they are here, I will help you stop them. Their group was complete, 5 people working in secret to protect the station. Ji-woo set up monitoring systems around Sector 12, carefully hidden so no one would notice. They waited. On the 3rd day, something happened. I have activity, Ji-woo whispered urgently over their private communication channel. 2 Krell ships approaching Sector 12. The bait worked, Daeho said grimly. Someone took it. Now we check the access logs, Hyun said. Ji-woo pulled up the records of who had viewed the false patrol schedule. The list was short. Only 5 people had accessed it. Commander Oh Sang-woo, Park Daeho, Kim Ji-woo, Lee Hyun, and Choi Min-seo, the station's supply coordinator. Min-seo, Daeho said quietly. He coordinates all supply runs and mining expeditions. He would have opportunities to pass information. But why would he help the Krell? Hyun asked. Vera's ears drooped. Fear, perhaps, or blackmail. The Krell are known for threatening families. We need proof before we accuse him, Thane stated firmly. Suspicion is not justice. They decided to watch Min-seo carefully. Jiwoo monitored his computer activity. Vera used her exceptional hearing to listen when he made private calls. Daeho tracked his movements through the station. It took 2 more days to find the evidence. Minseo was in his office late at night, and Vera was positioned in the ventilation shaft above. She heard him making a call on an encrypted channel. "The patrol schedule I sent you was false," Minseo said, his voice shaking. "It was a test. They are looking for a leak." A harsh voice responded, heavily distorted. "Then you have become a liability." "No, please! I did everything you asked! You said you would not hurt my family if I cooperated." "Your usefulness has ended." The call disconnected. Minseo sat in his office, his head in his hands, shaking. Vera climbed down from the shaft and entered his office. Minseo jumped up, terrified. "I heard everything," Vera said gently. "Your family." The Krell threatened them. Minseo collapsed back into his chair. Tears ran down his face. "My wife and daughter are on Colony 7. The Krell said they would kill them if I did not provide information. What choice did I have? You could have asked for help." "How? The Krell have spies everywhere. If I told anyone, they would know." Vera contacted the others. They gathered in Minseo's office. The supply coordinator looked at them with desperate eyes. "I am sorry," he whispered. "I never wanted to betray anyone. I just wanted my family safe." Daeho's expression was hard. "You put 200 people at risk." "I know. I know." Minseo could barely speak through his tears. Hyun stepped forward. "Where is your family now, exactly?" "Colony 7, Residential Block 9, Apartment 42. Jiwoo was already working on her tablet. "I can send an encrypted message to Colony 7 security. Have them move his family to protective custody." "The Krell will know," Minseo said hopelessly. "Let them know," Vera replied, her voice firm. "Your family will be safe. And now we know who the traitor is. We can feed the Krell false information." Hope flickered in Minseo's eyes. "You would help me? After what I did?" "You are a victim, not a villain," Thane said, his crystal body chiming softly. "The Krell are the true enemy." They took Minseo to Commander O and explained everything. The commander was angry, but understood the impossible situation Minseo had faced. "You will be confined to quarters under guard," the commander said. "But if you cooperate fully and help us stop the Krell, I will argue for mercy at your trial." Minseo agreed immediately. That night, the 5 conspirators met in the observation deck. They had found the leak and protected an innocent family, but the danger was far from over. "The Krell know we are looking for them now," Daeho said. "They will be more aggressive." "Then we must be ready," Thane replied. Hyun looked at his unlikely team. A human engineer, a security chief, a data analyst, a Mirathi liaison, and a Varathi builder. Together they had done what official channels could not. Vera stood beside him, her ears twitching as she listened to the subtle sounds of the station. "What do you hear?" Hyun asked. "Everything," she said with a slight purr, "including the strength in your voice when you speak of protecting your home. You humans are remarkable." "We are just doing what is necessary." "No, you are doing what is right. There is a difference." Outside the windows, the asteroid field drifted in silence. Somewhere in that darkness, the Krell were planning their next move, but Taijin's station had defenders now, and they were ready. The trap was set. Lee Haon felt nervous as he watched Kim Jiwoo enter the false data into the system. They were using Choi Minseo, the former traitor, to feed carefully crafted lies to the Krell syndicate. "The shipment of rare minerals will be stored in Bay 4 overnight," Jiwoo said, reading from her script. "Security will be minimal because of the patrol rotation." Minseo repeated the information into his encrypted communicator, his hands shaking. 2 guards stood behind him, watching carefully. After everything that had happened, Some people on the station still wanted him thrown out an airlock, but Commander Oh Sang-woo had given him a chance to make things right. They acknowledge the message, Minseo said quietly. They are planning something. Park Dae-ho checked his weapons. Good, let them come. We will be waiting. The plan was simple. Make the Krell think Bay 4 was vulnerable. When they attacked, Taejin Station's defenders would be ready. With luck, they could capture some Krell operatives and send a message that humans were not easy prey. But as Vera had warned them, nothing involving the Krell Syndicate was ever simple. The attack came at midnight station time. Alarms blared through the corridors. Red emergency lights flashed. Hyun ran from his quarters toward his assigned position, pulling on his protective gear as he moved. All hands to defensive stations, Commander Oh's voice boomed through the intercom. This is not a drill. But something was wrong. The attack was not happening at Bay 4. They are hitting the reactor core! Ji-woo's panicked voice came through the communication system. Multiple breach points! They are inside the station! Hyun changed direction, running toward the reactor level. How did they get inside? The station's sensors should have detected any approaching ships. He found Vera in the corridor, moving with incredible speed despite the chaos around them. They did not come from outside, she said, her ears flat against her head in anger. They were already here, smuggled aboard in cargo containers during the last supply run. Minseo said he told them about the shipment. He did not mention people hiding on the station. He probably did not know. The Krell planned this carefully. They reached the reactor level and found chaos. Station security was exchanging fire with Krell soldiers. The attackers wore heavy armor and carried weapons that made human pistols look like toys. Thane was there, his crystalline body absorbing and deflecting energy blasts. His strength allowed him to use a section of metal wall as a shield, protecting 3 human workers behind him. They are trying to reach the reactor controls, Thane shouted. If they succeed, they can cause a meltdown. Hyun looked around quickly. The Krell had superior weapons and armor, but they did not know the station like the humans did. He spotted a maintenance panel on the wall. Ji-woo, can you hear me? He said into his communicator. Yes. Where are you? Reactor level. Can you trigger emergency bulkhead closures in sections 12 through 15? That will trap some of our people. Trust me. Do it now. There was a pause. Then heavy metal doors slammed down throughout the level, dividing the area into separate sections. Several Krell soldiers found themselves cut off from their main group. Dae-ho, you have isolated targets in Section 13, Hyun said. On it, the security chief replied. But the main Krell force was still pushing toward the reactor. Their leader was a huge creature, easily 7 feet tall with scaled skin and cold yellow eyes. Hyun needed to buy time. He ran to another maintenance panel and started pulling wires. What are you doing? Vera asked, appearing beside him. Something stupid. He connected 2 power conduits that should never touch. Sparks flew. Then the lights went out throughout the entire level. In the darkness, human eyes struggled to see. But Vera's eyes were adapted for low light, and the Krell seemed equally blind. I can see them, Vera whispered. I can guide you. She began calling out positions. 3 targets, 20 meters ahead. 1 moving left behind the support beam. 2 more near the reactor door. Human defenders fired based on her directions. The Krell, suddenly at a disadvantage, began to fall back, but their leader was not retreating. He pulled something from his belt, a small device that blinked with red light. Explosive! Thane shouted. The Krell leader threw it toward the reactor core. If it detonated there, the entire station would be destroyed. Hyun did not think. He just ran. He intercepted the device in midair, caught it, and kept running away from the reactor. He had maybe 10 seconds before it exploded. He saw an open airlock, normally used for waste disposal. He threw the device inside and slammed the emergency close button. The door sealed just as the explosion happened. The force shook the entire level, but the blast was contained in the airlock. The airlock door was destroyed and emergency force fields activated to prevent atmosphere loss, but the station was safe. Park Daeho shot the Krell leader twice in the chest. The huge alien fell, his armor finally failing. Emergency lighting came back on. Hyun counted 6 dead Krell soldiers and 3 who were wounded and captured, but the cost to the station had been high, too. "Casualties!" Commander O demanded over the communication system. Reports came in. 5 people injured, 2 seriously, and Daeho was down. Hyun ran to where his friend lay. A Krell energy blast had hit Daeho in the side. His armor had absorbed most of it, but he was badly burned. "Medic!" Hyun shouted. Medical teams were already rushing through the corridors. They loaded Daeho onto a stretcher. He was conscious, but in terrible pain. "Did we get them?" Daeho asked through gritted teeth. "We got them," Hyun confirmed. "Good. Maybe next time listen when I say we need better weapons." They took Daeho to the medical bay. The doctor, a stern woman named Han So-min, immediately began treatment. "He will live," Dr. Han said after an hour. "But he needs rest. No security work for at least 2 weeks." In the command center, Commander O interrogated the captured Krell soldiers. Vera translated, as the Krell spoke a harsh language that few humans understood. "Why attack us?" the commander demanded. "We are just a mining station." One of the prisoners laughed, a sound like grinding metal. "Just a mining station sitting on the richest mineral deposits in this sector. The syndicate wants those resources. You are in the way. There are laws, galactic treaties." "Laws?" The Krell laughed again. "Laws are for weak species who cannot take what they want. We are strong. You will learn to fear us." Vera's tail lashed in anger. "Your strength means nothing. You hide in shadows and threaten families. You are cowards." The Krell spat on the floor. "We are survivors. When the galaxy learns that humans cannot protect one small station, other predators will come. You will be devoured." Commander O ended the interrogation. He looked tired and old. "What do we do now?" he asked Vera. "We send a message to the Galactic Council, report the attack, request assistance." "And how long will that take?" Vera's ears drooped. "Response times from the Council can be slow, weeks, perhaps months." "We do not have months. If the Krell know we are vulnerable, they will attack again with greater force." Hyun had been thinking while they talked. "Then we do not wait for help. We take the fight to them." Everyone looked at him. "Explain," the commander said. "We know where their base is. We recorded the location when Vera and I found them. They think we are weak and scared. So we do something they will not expect. Which is? We attack them first." The room went silent. Then Ji-woo spoke up. "He is right. Strategically, we have advantages. We know their location. They used most of their soldiers in this attack. Their base is probably less defended now." Thane chimed in agreement. "Surprise is a powerful weapon. The Krell expect us to hide and wait for help. An immediate counterattack would catch them unprepared." Commander O looked at each of them. 5 people who barely knew each other a few weeks ago. Now they were proposing to attack one of the most dangerous criminal organizations in the galaxy. "This is insane," the commander said. "Yes," Vera agreed. "But I have learned that humans often succeed by doing insane things." The commander made his decision. "We need to hit them hard enough that they leave this sector and never come back. Prepare assault teams. We move in 12 hours. Later that night, Hyun visited Daeho in Medical Bay. His friend was bandaged and connected to various machines, but he was alert. "I heard you are planning to attack the Krell base," Daeho said. "News travels fast." "It is a small station. Everyone knows everything." Daeho tried to sit up and winced in pain. "I should be going with you." "You should be resting. Someone needs to watch your back." "Vera will be there. Thane too. We will be okay. Daeho grabbed Hyun's arm. Be careful, my friend. The Krell do not take prisoners. If something goes wrong, they will kill everyone. I know. But if we do nothing, they will destroy the station anyway. At least this way, we control the fight. Hyun left the medical bay and walked to the observation deck. He found Vera already there, looking out at the stars. Cannot sleep? She asked. Too much adrenaline. You? I do not need as much sleep as humans, and I am thinking about tomorrow. They stood in silence for a moment. Are you afraid? Hyun asked. Vera's ears twitched. Yes. Fear is logical when facing danger, but I am also determined. The Krell attacked my new home. They hurt my friends. This will not stand. Your new home? She looked at him with her large eyes. I came to Taejin Station as a job, but somewhere along the way, it became more than that. You humans have a way of making people feel like they belong. Hyun smiled. You belong here, Vera. You are one of us now. Then I will fight like one of you, with courage and creative chaos. Outside the window, the asteroid field drifted silently. Somewhere in that darkness, the Krell waited. Tomorrow, they would learn that humans did not hide when threatened. They hunted back. The assault team gathered in the shuttle bay. 20 people, all volunteers, all knowing they might not come back. Lee Hyun checked his equipment for the third time. He was an engineer, not a soldier, but today he would have to be both. Commander Oh Sang-woo stood before them, his expression grave. The Krell Syndicate thinks we are weak. They think one attack will make us surrender. They are wrong. His voice echoed in the bay. Today we show them that humanity does not back down. We protect what is ours. Are you ready? Yes, sir. The response was loud and unified. 3 shuttles would make the journey. Vera stood beside Hyun, her tail swishing with barely controlled energy. Thane's crystalline body hummed with a deep tone that the others had learned meant he was preparing for battle. Kim Ji-woo was staying on Taejin Station to coordinate from the command center. Before boarding, she pulled Hyun aside. Come back alive, she said quietly. I cannot run this place without you breaking my well-organized systems. Hyun managed a small smile. I will do my best. The shuttles launched. The flight to the Krell base took 2 hours. During that time, Hyun thought about everything that had led to this moment. A few weeks ago, his biggest worry was fixing broken cooling units. Now he was about to attack alien criminals in their own territory. You are thinking too much, Vera said, sitting beside him. I can hear your heartbeat increasing. How do you stay calm? I do not. I am terrified. But fear is just information. It tells me I am alive and that what I do matters. Thane leaned forward from the seat behind them. In Vorathi philosophy, we say that courage is not the absence of fear. It is the choice to act despite fear. Humans have a similar saying, Hyun replied. Bravery is being scared but doing it anyway. As they approached the Krell base, everyone went silent. The criminal operation was larger than they expected. 4 ships were docked at a hastily built station attached to a large asteroid. Mining drones moved in organized patterns around the facility. That is more than we anticipated, one of the security officers said nervously. Hyun studied the layout through the shuttle window. But look at the design. It is efficient but simple. They built this quickly. It will have weak points. Ji-woo, are you receiving our video feed? Vera asked into her communicator. Yes, analyzing now. Ji-woo's voice came back. I see 3 possible entry points. Sending coordinates to your shuttles. The plan was risky. They would split into 3 teams and breach the station simultaneously. Confusion and surprise were their only advantages. As they got closer, a harsh voice suddenly crackled over their communication system. The Krell had detected them. Human vessels, you are trespassing in Syndicate territory. Turn back or be destroyed. Commander O responded calmly. "This is Taejin Station. You attacked us. We are here to make sure you never attack anyone again. Surrender now and you will be treated fairly." The Krell laughed. "Surrender? To humans? You are insects. You will die here." Two of the Krell ships began powering their weapons. "Evasive maneuvers!" Commander O shouted. The shuttles scattered. Hyun held on as his shuttle dove toward the asteroid field. Energy blasts lit up the darkness around them. "We cannot fight those ships," someone yelled. Hyun had an idea, a crazy, desperate idea. "Jiwoo, can you access the Krell mining drones?" "Maybe." "Why?" "Because if you can reprogram them, we can use them as weapons." "That is ridiculous. I would need time to break through their security." "How much time?" 10 minutes. Maybe more." "Then we buy you 10 minutes. Everyone lead the Krell ships toward the mining drones." The shuttles changed course, flying directly into the drone field. The Krell ships followed, firing constantly. One blast clipped a shuttle, sending it spinning, but the pilot regained control. "Jiwoo, what is your status?" Hyun asked urgently. "Working on it. Their security is primitive, but there are hundreds of drones. I need to find the control hub." Hyun's shuttle weaved between asteroids. A massive Krell ship was right behind them, so close he could see scarred metal on its hull. 6 minutes, Jiwoo said. 5 minutes. 4 minutes. An energy blast hit the asteroid beside them. Debris scattered across space. The shuttle shook violently. "We cannot last much longer," the pilot shouted. 2 minutes. Hyun looked out the window and saw the other shuttles taking heavy fire. This was not working. They were going to die out here, and the Krell would then destroy Taejin Station. No, he would not allow that to happen. "Jiwoo, forget the control hub. Can you take control of just the closest drones?" "Yes, but only a few at a time." "Then do it. We do not need all of them. We just need enough." "Got it. Taking control now." Suddenly, 10 mining drones changed course. They were simple machines designed to break apart asteroids, but they carried powerful drilling lasers and were made of dense metal. Jiwoo sent them straight at the nearest Krell ship. The ship tried to shoot them down, but the drones were small and fast. They swarmed the vessel, their drilling lasers cutting into the hull. Explosions blossomed across the ship's surface. "It is working!" someone cheered. Jiwoo took control of more drones. Soon, 50 of them were attacking the Krell ships. The criminals tried to retreat, but the drones followed like angry insects. One Krell ship exploded. The other fled. Damaged and smoking, the shuttles regrouped and approached the base. Now they faced the real challenge, getting inside and neutralizing whatever forces remained. They docked at the 3 entry points Jiwoo had identified. Hyun's team moved quickly through the airlock, weapons ready. Inside, the base was dark and cold. Emergency lighting cast everything in red shadows. Vera's ears moved constantly. "I hear movement. 12, no, 15 hostiles. They are setting up defensive positions ahead." "Can we go around them?" Hyun asked. "Not without exposing ourselves to crossfire." Thane stepped forward. "I will create an opening. My body can withstand more damage than yours." Before anyone could argue, the Varathi charged forward. Energy blasts hit his crystalline form, making him glow with absorbed energy, but he did not stop. He crashed into the Krell defensive position like a living battering ram. Hyun's team rushed after him, firing as they moved. The fight was brutal and close. The Krell were fierce, but the humans and their allies fought with desperate determination. They cleared the first section and moved deeper into the base. More Krell appeared, but the defenders of Taejin Station pushed forward. Then they reached the central command center. Inside, a massive Krell commander stood waiting. He was even larger than the one who had attacked the station, his scales covered in battle scars. "So the insects have stings after all," he growled. "It does not matter. You are too late." "Too late for what?" Commander O demanded. The Krell commander smiled, showing rows of sharp teeth. I sent a message to our main fleet. They are coming. 50 ships. They will erase your pathetic station from existence. Everyone felt their blood run cold. 50 ships. They could barely handle 4. When? Vera asked quietly. They will arrive in 3 days. You can run if you want. We will find you anyway. Hyun felt despair trying to take hold, but then something inside him refused to accept defeat. They had come too far, sacrificed too much. Ji-woo, he said into his communicator. Did you get the data download from their computers? Yes. I have access to everything. Including the message to their fleet? Yes, but it already sent. I cannot stop it. Hyun looked at the Krell commander. Then we do not stop it. We change it. The commander laughed. You cannot change an encrypted message. No, but we can send another one. Ji-woo, use their own system to send a follow-up message. Tell the Krell fleet that the operation here failed. Tell them Taejin Station has Galactic Council protection and is too dangerous to attack. They will not believe that, the commander snarled. They will if the message comes from you. Hyun pointed his weapon at the Krell commander. You are going to record it. I will never help you. Vera stepped forward, her voice cold. Then you will die here, and without your confirmation, your fleet will come to investigate. When they find their base destroyed and you dead, they will know humans are more dangerous than they thought. Either way, you lose. But if you help us, you live. The Krell commander's yellow eyes burned with hate, but he saw the truth in her words. He was defeated, and he knew it. What do you want me to say? An hour later, the assault teams returned to Taejin Station. They brought captured Krell soldiers and valuable intelligence, but most importantly, they brought a message that would save the station. Ji-woo played the recording for everyone in the command center. The Krell commander's voice was stiff and angry but clear. Fleet Command, this is Base Epsilon. Our operation has been compromised. The humans of Taejin Station have Galactic Council backing. They have advanced weapons and allies we did not anticipate. Recommend abandoning this sector. The cost is too high. Will it work? Someone asked. The Krell respect strength, Vera said. They are predators, but predators avoid prey that can hurt them. This message, combined with our destruction of their base, should convince them to leave. Commander O looked at his tired, wounded, but victorious crew. You did the impossible today. You protected our home. I am proud of every one of you. Later, Hyun visited Park Daeho in Medical Bay. You should see the other guy. Daeho joked weakly. We won. The Krell are leaving. I knew you could do it. You humans are stubborn like that. Not just humans. All of us. Together. Daeho smiled. Yeah, together. That night, Hyun found Vera in the observation deck. She looked tired but content. Why do you do it? She asked suddenly. Why do humans never give up, even when the odds are impossible? Hyun thought about her question. Because if we did, we would still be hiding in caves on Earth, afraid of everything. Humans learned long ago that the universe does not care about our comfort or safety, so we decided to care for ourselves. We decided that we matter, that our lives matter, and that we will fight for every moment we get. Vera's ears twitched. That is both beautiful and terrifying. That is humanity. She looked at him with respect in her large eyes. I think the galaxy was not ready for your people. You change everything you touch. Is that good or bad? I think it is necessary. The galaxy has been the same for thousands of years. Maybe it needs the chaos you bring. Outside the window, the stars shone in endless darkness. Somewhere out there, a Krell fleet was receiving a message that would change their plans. And on Taejin Station, humans and aliens sat together, celebrating their survival. The impossible had become possible, and tomorrow they would face whatever challenges came next. Together. 2 days after the assault on the Krell base, Kim Ji-woo detected ships entering the sector. Not 50 ships as threatened, but 12. Still more than enough to destroy Taejin Station. "They are ignoring our warning," she reported to the command center, her voice tight with stress. The Krell commander's message did not convince them. Commander Oh Sang-woo looked at the tactical display with tired eyes. Red icons representing enemy ships moved steadily toward the station. "How long until they arrive?" he asked. 8 hours, maybe less if they increase speed. Lee Hyun stood beside Vera, both of them studying the approaching fleet. The station had maybe 20 people with combat training. The rest were miners and engineers. Against 12 warships, they had no chance. "We evacuate," someone suggested. "Load everyone into shuttles and run." "Run where?" Park Dae-ho asked. He was out of medical bay now, moving slowly but determined to help. "Those ships are faster than our shuttles. They would hunt us down." "Then we surrender," another voice said desperately. "The Krell do not accept surrender," Vera said quietly. "We humiliated them, destroyed their base, killed their soldiers. They will take revenge." The room went silent. Everyone understood what that meant. If they stayed, they would die. If they ran, they would die. There was no good option. Hyun looked around at the faces of his friends and colleagues, people who had worked together, laughed together, survived together. He thought about Park Dae-ho's jokes, Ji-woo's brilliant mind, Vera's purring laugh, Thane's calm wisdom. He thought about the 200 people on this station who were just trying to make a living among the stars. "No," he said firmly. Everyone turned to look at him. "No, we do not run. No, we do not surrender. We fight." "Hyun, be reasonable," Commander Oh said gently. "I admire your courage, but we cannot win this." "Maybe not, but we can make them pay for every meter of this station. We can make them remember that humans do not die quietly." Vera's ears perked up. Something in his voice had changed. It was not desperation. It was determination. "What are you thinking?" she asked. Hyun walked to the tactical display. "The Krell are coming here expecting an easy victory. They think we used all our tricks already, but they do not know how humans think. We adapt. We improvise. We use everything we have." "We barely have weapons," Dae-ho pointed out. "Then we make weapons. This is a mining station. We have explosives, mining lasers, and heavy equipment. We have drones, cargo containers, and the entire asteroid field around us." Ji-woo's eyes lit up with understanding. "You want to turn the station itself into a weapon." "Exactly. The Krell expect a traditional battle. We give them chaos." Commander Oh studied Hyun for a long moment. Then he nodded. "Tell me your plan." Over the next 7 hours, Taejin Station transformed. Every person worked with desperate energy. Thane and the engineering teams loaded cargo containers with mining explosives and attached small thrusters to them. They would become guided mines, floating in space, waiting for Krell ships to get close. Ji-woo reprogrammed every mining drone in the sector. Hundreds of them moved into defensive positions around the station. Hyun modified the mining lasers, increasing their power at the cost of safety. They were never designed for combat, but they could cut through rock. They could cut through ships, too. Vera coordinated communications between all the teams. Her exceptional hearing allowed her to monitor multiple channels simultaneously and catch problems before they became critical. Civilians were moved to the most protected areas of the station. Children were scared but tried to be brave. Parents held them close, whispering promises they were not sure they could keep. Dr. Han Soman set up an emergency medical center. She had limited supplies, but she prepared for the worst. An hour before the Krell arrived, Commander Oh addressed the station over the intercom. "Everyone, I will not lie to you. We are facing an enemy that wants to destroy us. They are stronger. They are more experienced, but they do not have what we have. They do not fight for their home. They do not fight for each other. We do, and that makes all the difference. Whatever happens today, know that you are the bravest people I have ever known. It has been an honor to serve with you." Hyun stood at his station in the main control room. Beside him, Vera adjusted her equipment. Her usual calm demeanor had been replaced with something fierce. "I am afraid," she admitted quietly. "So am I." "But you are still here." "Where else would I be? This is my home. These are my people." She looked at him with those large, expressive eyes. "You have changed me, Lee Hyun. Before I came to this station, I followed rules. I trusted protocols. But you showed me that sometimes the right thing to do is the thing no one expects." "I learned from the best," Hyun replied, gesturing to everyone around them. The Krell fleet arrived exactly on schedule. 12 massive warships emerged from faster-than-light travel at the edge of the sector. They were brutal-looking vessels, covered in weapons and scarred from countless battles. A transmission came through, a Krell voice, deep and filled with rage. "Humans of Taejin Station, you destroyed our property, you killed our people, you embarrassed the Syndicate. For this you will suffer. Surrender now, and we will make your deaths quick," Commander O responded. "This is Commander Oh Sang-woo of Taejin Station. We defend what is ours. If you want this station, come and take it." The Krell did not bother to respond with words. They responded with weapons. Energy blasts and missiles streaked through space toward the station. The defenders activated their makeshift defenses. Mining drones moved to intercept missiles, sacrificing themselves to protect the station. Explosions lit up the darkness. Cargo container mines drifted into the path of Krell ships. When the ships came close, the mines detonated. 2 Krell vessels took heavy damage. 1 lost engine power and began to drift. But 11 ships still came forward. The mining lasers fired. They were not as powerful as military weapons, but there were dozens of them. Coordinated fire from multiple lasers burned through the shields of another Krell ship. "We hit them!" someone cheered. But the celebration was short-lived. Krell return fire smashed through the station's outer hull. Sections decompressed, emergency bulkheads sealed, but 3 people were lost to the void. "Damage report!" Commander O demanded. Reports flooded in. Structural damage to Sectors 4 and 5. Life support compromised in Section 8. One of the main reactors was overheating. "Hyun, can you fix the reactor?" the commander asked. "I am going now." Hyun ran through the shaking corridors. Explosions rocked the station. Lights flickered. He could hear people screaming, alarms blaring, metal tearing. He reached the reactor room to find it in chaos. Coolant was leaking. Control panels were sparking. The reactor core glowed with dangerous heat. "If this goes critical, it will destroy the entire station," a technician said, her face pale with fear. Hyun assessed the situation quickly. The reactor had been damaged by the Krell attack, but it could be stabilized. He just needed to manually reroute the coolant system. "Give me 2 minutes," he said. He climbed into the access shaft, ignoring the heat that made his skin burn. His hands moved with practiced precision, connecting pipes, sealing leaks, and bypassing damaged systems. Above him, the station continued to shake from Krell weapons fire. 1 minute. His makeshift repairs held. Coolant began flowing again. The reactor temperature started to drop. 30 seconds. Just a little more. Almost there. An explosion somewhere nearby threw him against the wall. Pain shot through his shoulder, but he did not stop. He made the final connection. The reactor stabilized. Hyun climbed out of the shaft, sweating and exhausted. "It is fixed. For now." He ran back to the command center to find the situation worse. 8 Krell ships remained, and they were deploying boarding parties. "They are attaching to our hull," Daeho reported. "They are coming inside." Everyone to defensive positions, Commander O ordered. The battle moved from space into the corridors of Taejin Station. Krell soldiers cut through airlocks and poured inside. They were heavily armed and armored, expecting to face frightened miners. What they found instead was organized resistance. Hyun's team had prepared the corridors, trapped sections with explosives, created choke points, set up ambush positions. When the Krell advanced, the humans struck from unexpected angles. They used the station's layout to their advantage, attacking and then retreating through maintenance shafts the large Krell could not follow. Vera proved invaluable. Her hearing allowed her to track enemy movements through walls. She guided defenders to where they were needed most. 10 hostiles moving through Corridor 7. 3 more behind them. Wait for my signal. The humans waited in silence. The Krell advanced, confident. Now! Explosives detonated. The corridor collapsed, crushing several Krell and blocking the rest. But there were too many enemies. Slowly, inevitably, the Krell pushed deeper into the station. In the civilian shelter, people huddled together. Children cried. Adults tried to stay calm, but fear was thick in the air. Thane stood guard at the entrance. His crystalline body glowed as it absorbed energy from Krell weapons. He would not let them pass. A massive Krell commander confronted him. "Move aside, crystal creature. We have no fight with you. This is between us and the humans." "I am with the humans," Thane replied, his voice chiming like bells. "If you want to harm them, you must go through me. Then you will die with them," the Krell commander charged. Thane met him head-on. The two giants fought in the narrow corridor, trading blows that would have killed any human instantly. Thane's crystalline body was strong, but the Krell commander was experienced and brutal. They fought for what felt like hours, but was only minutes. Finally, with a desperate surge of strength, Thane grabbed the Krell commander and drove him into the wall. Then he released all the energy his body had absorbed in one massive discharge. The explosion knocked both of them down. The Krell commander did not get up. Thane did, barely, his body cracked but intact. "The shelter is safe," he reported over the communicator. In the command center, Commander O watched his station being torn apart. They had inflicted heavy damage on the Krell fleet. 6 ships were destroyed or disabled. But 6 remained, and the boarding parties were overwhelming the defenders. "We cannot hold much longer," he said quietly. Hyun looked at Vera. She looked back. Something passed between them, an understanding. They had fought well. If this was the end, at least they would face it together. Then Jiwoo's voice erupted over the communicator, excited and disbelieving. "Commander, new contacts entering the sector, multiple ships." "More Krell?" Commander O asked wearily. "No, sir. These are Galactic Council ships, and they are targeting the Krell." Everyone in the command center froze. Then they rushed to the displays. Sure enough, 5 sleek Council warships had arrived. They were engaging the Krell fleet with coordinated precision. A transmission came through, an alien voice, calm and authoritative. "Taejin Station. This is Council Enforcement Ship Steadfast. We received a distress signal from Mirathi Liaison Vera 3 hours ago. Hold position. We are here to assist." Vera turned to Hyun, her ears high and proud. "I sent the message when the Krell fleet first appeared. I did not mention it because I was not sure they would come in time." "You saved us," Hyun said. "No. You saved yourselves. I just called for backup." With Council ships attacking from outside and defenders fighting from within, the Krell position collapsed. Their ships retreated, damaged, and broken. The boarding parties tried to escape but were captured or killed. Within an hour, it was over. Taejin Station had survived. The Council ships remained in orbit around Taejin Station for 3 days, helping with repairs and providing medical assistance. The station was damaged but intact. More importantly, the people were alive. Lee Hyun walked through the repaired corridors, still finding it hard to believe they had survived. The walls showed patches where hull breaches had been sealed. Scorch marks from energy weapons remained in places. But life was returning to normal. In the medical bay, Dr. Han So-min worked tirelessly. She had lost 2 patients during the battle, and the grief showed in her tired eyes. But she had saved dozens more, performing surgery with limited supplies and incredible skill. Park Dae-ho was recovering well. His injury from the first Krell attack had mostly healed, and he had only minor wounds from the second battle. "You look terrible," Dae-ho joked when Hyun visited. "You should see yourself." They laughed, the kind of laugh that comes after surviving something impossible. The kind of laugh that says we are still here, still breathing, still alive. "What happens now?" Dae-ho asked. "I don't know. The council wants to interview everyone. They are investigating the Krell Syndicate's activities in this sector." "Good. Maybe they will actually do something about those criminals." Hyun hoped so. But he had learned that the galaxy was complicated. Politics moved slowly, justice even slower. The station had lost 12 people in the fighting, 12 souls who would never go home. Commander Oh Sang-woo organized a memorial service in the main assembly hall. People gathered, human and alien, together to honor the fallen. Names were read aloud, stories were shared, tears were shed. Hyun stood beside Vera. Her tail was wrapped around her body, a sign of sadness in Marathi culture. "They died protecting their home," she said softly. "There is honor in that. Honor doesn't bring them back." "No, but it gives their sacrifice meaning." Thane stood nearby, his crystalline body dimmer than usual. He had known loss before. His own people had died to Krell aggression 20 years ago. Now he had helped prevent the same fate for others. After the service, Commander O called a meeting with the senior staff and the council representatives. The council officer in charge was a tall, elegant being from the Sarathi species. Her skin shifted colors as she spoke, a form of communication Hyun did not fully understand. "Commander O, your station's defense against the Krell Syndicate has been noted by the council. Your actions were both brave and effective." "We did what we had to do," the commander replied simply. "Indeed. However, your methods were unconventional. Using civilian mining equipment as weapons, turning cargo containers into mines. These tactics violate several galactic safety protocols." Vera stepped forward, her ears flat with annoyance. "Those protocols assume everyone has access to military resources. Taejin Station had none. They improvised with what they had. That is not a violation. That is survival." The Sarathi officer's skin shifted to a calmer color. "Peace, Liaison Vera. I am not criticizing. I am observing. Human tactics are unlike anything in our databases. This creativity, this refusal to accept limitations, it is remarkable." "So what happens now?" Commander O asked. "The council is offering Taejin Station full protection status. We will establish a small garrison here. Ships will patrol regularly. The Krell Syndicate will not trouble you again." Everyone in the room felt relief wash over them. "There is more," the Sarathi continued. "Word of your defense has spread through the galaxy. Humanity defeated a numerically superior force through cleverness and determination. Other species are paying attention." "Is that good or bad?" Hyun asked. The officer's skin flickered with what might have been amusement. "That depends on perspective. Some species see humans as potential allies. Others see you as a threat. You are unpredictable, dangerous when cornered. These qualities make the galaxy nervous." "We just want to live in peace," Commander O said. "Perhaps. But you have demonstrated that you will fight for that peace. The galaxy must adjust to this reality." Over the next week, things began to change on Taejin Station. Hyun was offered a promotion to chief engineer with a significant increase in pay and responsibility. He accepted, but only on the condition that he could still work with his hands, fixing things directly rather than just managing others. Kim Ji-woo received a formal job offer from Galactic Intelligence. They had been impressed by her ability to hack Krell systems and reprogram mining drones during combat. "I am thinking about accepting," she told Hyun over coffee in the cafeteria. "It would be interesting work, challenging." "You would be good at it," Hyun agreed, "but the station will miss you." "The station will be fine. You have new engineers arriving next week. The council is investing in this place." Hyun smiled. "Everything is changing. Change is not always bad. Sometimes it is exactly what we need." Park Dae-ho was promoted to Chief of Security. His first action was to request better weapons and training for his team. The council approved immediately. Thane chose to stay on the station permanently. He had found something here that he had lost when the Krell destroyed his colony: a sense of belonging. "Humans are chaotic and loud," he told Hyun one day, "but they are also loyal and brave. I am honored to be among you." Choi Min-seo, the man who had been forced to betray the station, faced trial. But with testimony from Vera and others explaining his impossible situation, he received a light sentence. He would work under supervision for 2 years, helping to rebuild what had been damaged. His family was safely relocated to Taejin Station, where they could be together. "Thank you," Min-seo said to Hyun one day, tears in his eyes. "You could have let them kill me. You didn't have to show mercy." "Everyone deserves a second chance," Hyun replied. "Use yours well." Vera became something of a celebrity in the Marathi community. Her reports on human behavior and tactics were studied across the galaxy. She was offered high-ranking positions in various organizations. She turned them all down. "Why stay here?" a Marathi official asked during a video call. "You have proven yourself. You could advance your career significantly." Vera looked around the station, at the humans working and laughing and living. "Because this is my home now. These are my people. I am not leaving." One evening, Hyun found Vera in the observation deck, their usual meeting place. The asteroid field drifted peacefully outside, no longer harboring threats. "You could have left," he said, sitting beside her. "Gone back to your people, lived a quieter life." "I could say the same about you. You were offered positions on 3 different stations, more money, better facilities. But this is home." They sat in comfortable silence, watching the stars. "The galaxy is changing," Vera said softly. "Before humans joined the council, everything was stable, predictable. Species followed their roles, protocols were respected. And now? Now there is chaos, beautiful, terrifying chaos. Your people refuse to accept limits. You solve impossible problems. You fight when you should surrender. You care about individuals when you should think about statistics." "Is that a complaint?" Vera purred. A sound Hyun had learned meant she was amused. "No, it is an observation. The galaxy needed shaking up. It needed to remember that rules serve life, not the other way around." "Did you ever regret coming here?" Hyun asked. She turned to look at him, her large eyes reflecting the starlight. "Never. Not once. You humans taught me more than any protocol manual. You taught me that courage is not the absence of fear, that family is not just blood, that home is where you choose to fight for. You taught us things too. Patience, the value of listening, the strength in understanding. Then we were both students and teachers." Hyun smiled. "I like that." A message came through on his communicator. Commander O wanted to see him in the morning about plans for station expansion. The council was sending more resources. Taejin Station would grow. But for now, Hyun just sat with his friend, his partner, his fellow defender of this small home among the stars. "Do you remember when I first arrived?" Vera asked. "You whispered that the protocols were ridiculous." Hyun laughed. "And you turned around and told me you hear everything." I meant it as a warning. I know. But it became something else. A promise. I would always listen. I would always be there when you needed me. And you have been. Through everything. Vera's tail wrapped gently around her body, a gesture of contentment. Humans have a saying, I believe, about being careful what you wish for? Yes. Why? Because the galaxy wished for stability and predictability. Then humans arrived. Now the galaxy must deal with the consequences. Are those consequences good or bad? Both. Neither. It depends on the day. She purred softly. But mostly good. Mostly. News reports from across the galaxy continued to discuss Tajin Station's defense. Some species expressed concern about human military capabilities, others saw opportunity for alliance and cooperation. Humanity's reputation had changed. They were no longer just the new species, the newcomers still learning galactic ways. They were survivors, fighters, innovators. The quiet mining station that nobody noticed had become a symbol, proof that humans could not be dismissed or underestimated. In a conference room somewhere in council space, important beings discussed the implications. The humans are dangerous, one argued. The humans are valuable, another countered. The humans are unpredictable. Exactly, which means they will keep surprising us, keep pushing boundaries, keep solving problems we thought unsolvable. The debate would continue for years, but on Taijin Station, life went on. Hyun fixed machines. Daiho trained security teams. Jiwoo prepared for her new position with council intelligence. Thane built stronger defenses. Miners harvested asteroids. Children played in the recreation areas. And Vera listened to it all, her sensitive ears catching every sound, every whisper, every laugh. One morning, Hyun was repairing a cooling unit, the same mundane work he had done before everything changed. Vera found him there, covered in grease, completely focused on his task. Some things never change, she observed. Hyun looked up and smiled. The universe can throw whatever it wants at us. We will adapt. We will survive. We will keep fixing what breaks and building what is needed. That is very human of you. Thank you. She sat beside him, her tail swishing contentedly. I have been thinking. The council wants me to train other liaisons about working with humans. They want a manual, a guidebook. Can you write one? I do not think so. Humans cannot be reduced to rules and procedures. Every time I think I understand you, you do something unexpected. Is that frustrating? It is wonderful. They worked together for a while, alien and human, fixing a simple machine on a small station at the edge of explored space. And somewhere out there, in the vast darkness between stars, the galaxy watched and wondered what humanity would do next. Whatever it would not be boring. Whatever it would matter, because that was the human way. That was the human factor. They mattered because they refused to accept that they didn't. They succeeded because they refused to accept failure. And everyone who stood beside them, who called them friends, who chose to make their home among humans, they mattered too. Vera purred softly as she listened to the sounds of the station. 200 people living, working, dreaming. The hum of machinery, the laughter of children, the whispered plans of engineers. What do you hear? Hyun asked, as he had asked before. Everything, Vera replied with a smile. I hear everything, and it sounds like home. In the observation deck, the stars shone eternal. The asteroid field drifted in its ancient dance, and on Tajin Station, life continued, precious and defiant and utterly human. The story of the small mining station that refused to surrender would be told across the galaxy for generations. It would inspire others. It would teach lessons. It would remind everyone that determination and creativity could overcome almost any obstacle. But for those who lived it, the story was simpler. It was about home, about family, about standing together when everything tried to pull them apart. It was about whispers becoming roars. It was about being heard, being seen, and refusing to be forgotten. It was humanity saying to the galaxy, "We are here, we matter, and we are not going anywhere." And from her place beside the humans, she had come to love. Vera purred her agreement. "Careful, Galaxy. They hear everything now, and they are listening back."